So the day is finally here where I can talk to you about all of this and my next phase of my career. So if you don't mind, just give me just a few minutes to speak from on a personal and professional note. When I began the Blaze years and years and years ago, the world looked extraordinarily different than it did. The left owned all of the airwaves, the networks, the studios, the universities. You know, if you didn't see the world their way, you just weren't welcome in it and you weren't going anywhere. At the time when I was dominating those airwaves, the left told me, you want to say those things, you just go on the internet and do a podcast. At a time when a podcast didn't mean anything. It was a joke if you were a podcaster at the time. At the time, nobody had really figured out the podcast. Nobody had even considered live subscription networks with real talent that could not just be heard and survive, but could dominate and thrive. So when I left Fox, I never forget, Roger Ailes told me, he said, you know, the internet's a fad. And I said, I don't think it is. And the left thought that they had won, that I had been banished into the wilderness of something called podcasting. On my last show, I said to the left that you will pine for the days when I was only on for 1 hour every day on Fox News. But as usual, they lacked vision and they didn't see what I saw. And what I saw was freedom. Entire networks and generations of new voices that would finally be set free, that would not have to climb that impossible ladder that I had to climb. Out of that wilderness came the Blaze. And through these doors walked the next generation of truth tellers, and they're still walking through these doors. Let me just name a few, and I'm going to leave a lot of people out, and I apologize. But Buck Sexton, Lawrence Jones now at Fox, Allie Beth Stuckey, who's in the Wall Street Journal today as being the leader of the leading women's voice for the conservative movement. Dana Lash, Will Cain. The first time that Matt Walsh ever appeared on television, it was with me on what was then called GBTV. And my own personal fave, whose career got a start from a nobody to now the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. No one had ever built a live subscription-based network of independent thinkers. It hadn't been done, hadn't even been dreamed of. No one had ever streamed across radio and television and online simultaneously and based it online. And to do it, we had to invent new things. I mean, the infrastructure didn't exist. We had to partner at the time with Major League Baseball to be able to do it because no one else but Major League Baseball had even thought of it. Today, if you look around at the landscape, things have dramatically changed. Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, the biggest names in news, all online, all independent. And it's because of you seeing the future and going, I think that might change the media. And together we brought the networks to their knees. And it's funny because now it's becoming full circle. You know, one of them that they drove out, Barry Weiss, is now being welcomed back as a conquering hero and the newsroom savior out at CBS News. It's crazy. But for me, my part of this mission is complete. I wanted to start the Blaze. I wanted to create this ecosystem, and we did. Media now has really capable voices, minds, and hands to do things. And the Blaze is hitting new heights every single month. And I can now turn what I want to do, which is my next disruption and my next creative venture. Because as a nation, we are now suffering from a lack of true education, true individual empowerment, and true non-governmental rescue. So let me start with education. In January, I am launching the Glenn and Tanya Beck Foundation for American History. It is a privately funded trust that will continue to do in accelerated fashion what I began almost 20 years ago. For nearly 2 decades, I have been collecting the physical evidence of America's soul, the the documents, the letters, the artifacts that tell the true story of who we are. And it's amazing to me after 20 years how big this thing has gotten and how few people, even in my own audience, really know what it is, because we haven't really unveiled it except in glimpses here and there. But with the help of David Barton and Wall Builders, that library has now become the third largest private collection of founding documents in the world. It is surpassed only by the Library of Congress and the National Archives. It houses and also preserves the largest collection of Pilgrim and Jamestown documents and items in the world. The entire collection now contains well over 1 million documents and items of evidence of the greatness of the American experiment, as well as our scars and our mistakes. But it is definitive proof of our beginnings. This library is proof that America was founded on Judeo-Christian values. It is proof that our mission was not slavery, but freedom for all mankind. It is proof that while we have committed terrible wrongs, we have also accomplished miraculous things. It is proof that our story began not in Jamestown, but in Plymouth, Mass. It is proof that when science divorces itself from moral truth, darkness follows, and usually profound darkness. From the race hygiene laws born here in America that inspired the Nuremberg laws in Nazi Germany, to the American eugenics society that lit the path for Mengele's horrors. History repeats itself. If it doesn't, it at least rhymes again and again and again. And once again, we are fighting the same ancient evil, the culture of death. But this library is proof that man can rule himself, that Tesla was the genius, not Edison, that some Native American tribes were glorious and peaceful, while others were bloodthirsty and slave owners, no different than the English that came to Jamestown. Over the last 3 years, my team has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and hundreds and thousands of man-hours digitizing this unparalleled archive. And in the last year plus, I have been working on building something the world has never seen before. What was once contained, and still physically is, in a tornado-proof vault, and then another, they call it a mountain here, but I call it a Texas hillside, and a third location, a granite vault in the Rocky Mountains. All of this history is now also contained in a digital vault, all now on blockchain. So these facts and artifacts will never, ever be lost, unless you want to shut down the entire internet. But more than just preservation, which was my first goal, we now have created the first independent, proprietary, AI-driven American historical library. And it is, as you will see next year, complete with its own librarian. We call him George. George is built from the writings of George Washington himself, the writings of the founders, the thousands of sermons that they heard from their church pulpits, the books that they read, and the principles they lived by. He can find any artifact, any document, any speech, and deliver it to you as evidence that what you were taught in school was either misguided out of ignorance, a half-truth, or most likely an out-and-out lie. He will also be able to teach the Constitution. He will teach the Federalist Papers, the civics, American history, in a way that no one has even thought of. No one has ever generated. And it can generate it all without hallucination, as it is all contained in a secure, isolated server where every document is memorized verbatim. This is not ChatGPT. This is not Wikipedia. This is verified, factual, memorized, first source truth, powered now by proprietary technology and the greatest private collection of American history ever assembled. And this is only part of what I'm announcing today. So this enormous library featuring our librarian, George, that will be able to teach you and your family in ways you cannot imagine, but will be able to soon. And on separate servers, we have digitized over 30 years of my life's work. Every book, every radio show, every episode, every special, every speech, every bit of research. Sourced and documented research with historic verification. And that, too, will be ready to teach you anything you might need, from the rise of the caliphate to the structure of our government, from economic truth to the funding networks of the left, from George Soros to Arabella Advisors. We are working with two new sets of researchers that have come into the fold for what I'm launching with The Torch next January. You will be very excited. These two researchers, you know who they are, their teams, and we are putting some stuff together that will first be turned over to the FBI and then made into a special for you. But all of this will be on demand, all verified, and all powered by The Torch, which is going to be a new tool, a new app that will be found at glennbeck.com. It's going to be released on January 5th. I would ask that you would sign up for my free email newsletter at glennbeck.com right now. That way we can alert you. You can be one of the first to become a founding member when the app is released. But this is the next chapter. This is the final chapter of my career, to try to restore curiosity, try to restore the ability to ask questions about history and then get honest results back without any bias, just based on actual documents. And all of it begins appropriately at the beginning of the 250 year of our nation's founding. Now, so you know, this show that you hear, the radio show, will still be heard on radio and on BlazeTV. And BlazeTV is going on. It's going to be announcing some new and very exciting expansion very soon. But you will find all of the extras at the Torch app at glennbeck.com. And even this show on the app is going to have a completely new edition that is we're in beta testing right now. I hope it is going to be shocking in its usefulness. But beginning January 5th, rolling out over the next 12 months, you're going to find new history shows, new deep dive investigations, and most importantly, you will find perspective, honest history, and hope. And we begin the year with two brand new podcasts. One of them is America's Story. It's a year-long celebration of our 250th birthday. It is the original story, and it is really, really, really good. In the months ahead, we will also go where others cannot go or will not go, digitally and literally. Next year, Mercury One, the Nazarene Fund, and the American Journey Experience, three of my charities that you have helped build, are expanding their mission as well. And beginning in the first quarter of next year, I personally am going to take you into the heart of Islamic darkness. That is going to be one of the things that we really delve into deeply, the Islamicization of the entire West. And I will be taking you into the killing fields of Nigeria, where Christians are being slaughtered by Islamist militants and militias in the largest Christian slaughter in human history. We will be there, and I will take you to the places most people don't know about or won't cover, and I will take you to the cliffs the world is about to jump off of without anyone even knowing that that is a cliff. And that will be Nigeria, also the front lines of South Korea, where communism is threatening to swallow another free ally, probably in the next 24 months, to the places where faith and truth and freedom are under siege. And we don't need more despair. We need more action, and we need it to be bold and decisive, and you will be a part of that. We're not going to just take you and show you problems. We're going to be offering solutions. You'll be a part of a movement that will rescue and rebuild and redeem. I've been working on this for a while, and I've been praying all the time and just tearing myself apart. And just a couple of weeks ago, I felt somebody was giving me a blessing, and I felt strongly For the first time in my life, I know why I was born. And in that, I realized I don't have a lot of time to waste, and I have a lot of work to do. I would love to help you find your reason you were born, because we all have to. The torch is not just a platform. The torch is a mission, and it is a mission to illuminate. It is a mission to bring light where there is darkness. It is a light to guide those in darkness to safety. And this is my next and final step in my career, and it is the culmination of everything that I have done and built, from Fox to the Blaze, from my first item of American history to now the largest private library in the country, from radio to TV to books to now history itself. This is the moment that I try to pass the torch to you. And founding memberships are going to be open soon. And I would love for you to be a partner with us. And I am asking you one last time to help me build something to change the world for good. We've done it once before. We've done it actually several times together. But the truth still matters. And the torch of Lady Liberty, the torch of truth, must never, ever go out. So this is the torch. And it begins in January 5th. Sign up for my free email newsletter. You'll be given the first opportunity to become a founding member of this very ambitious project to make history once again by sharing history in new and game-changing ways. The torch at glennbeck.com begins January 5th. Let's change the world yet again.